We want to take a few minutes and talk about good rope management, and coiling is part of good rope management and will also really help if we're coiling appropriately as far as storage. We want to treat a rope like a good friend. It's going to either save our life, protect us and our friends from accident and injury, or allow us to fasten things, tie things together in a manner which we're not going to have to worry about. So, rope management and coiling. Let's just do a standard coil to start with. I would take and just hang the rope, the tail of the rope over my hand so that the tail is hanging right over my little finger. Then I take my other hand and put it here and slide along the rope and bring it in a coiling position like that. As I go out here, a comfortable arm's length, and I bring it in, notice I put slight twist into the rope. If I don't put that slight twist in there, then it starts to look like this, and we don't want that. We want it to all lay in a nice coil. So carefully watching, I take my finger and I spin that in a clockwise manner and lay it in my other hand. And as we get better at this, we will do it automatically, hardly without looking. We want these coils to lay against each other in a very organized manner. Sometimes we'll get too much twist in a rope and it'll take some extra work. One of the things you can do with a rope to get those kinks out is to go up on a high bridge and dangle it off and let it untwist itself, and then it'll be much easier to manage. As you'll notice, you get 160, 180 foot rope, and it gets to be a lot of coils in your hand. So while this is a way to do it, and I encourage you to learn that, I'm going to show you another way to coil your rope. I'm going to drop that. Now instead of laying this over my little finger, I'm going to lay it over my left shoulder. Hang it in front of my left shoulder. This one comes around behind. It's a little more complex, but it allows you to hold a larger coil of rope. So slowly, it's in my right hand. I'm going to lay it into my left, switch hands, and slide. Now, I'm in the position where I can flip this over my shoulder. Just like this. Continues to lay over this shoulder, and this one comes under my right elbow. Left hand, right hand, slide, flip. Left hand, right hand, slide, flip. And now my shoulder is doing all the holding of the coils, and both hands are free to do this. Let me go through it again. Left hand, right hand, slide, flip, flip, flip. Notice my hands are basically down about waist level. A tendency when you start to learn this is going to be to, you don't want to do that. You want to get used to having the right lengths in front of you. You just flip and it goes where you want it to go with practice. Notice now we're getting further towards the other end, and all the little coils we're putting into it turn into small knots, and we need to let the rope uncoil itself there. All right, I'm about 6 to 8 feet from the other tail. Now it's time to actually tie up the coil. We got a pretty heavy coil here, and if I'd have done the standard method of coiling, this hand's always busy just holding. Gets to be a pretty big hunk of rope in my hand. This over the shoulder flipping isn't quite as neat as doing it this way. This much kind of twisting isn't bad at all. Now I want to tie this up so that it will stay just the way it is. I'm going to take the short end, and remember what this is called? A bite. Putting a bite in it so it lays back alongside itself, lay it right over the top. The other end right here, I'm going to put a 90-degree bend in it. Carefully hold that. Here's a key to the whole finishing of the coil. As I come around the whole coil, I block it, I bring all that through, and I went over itself, and that's what locks it. And as I notice, I'm cinching up tight. Round, round. I'm going to do this several times. I guess I could have made this a couple feet shorter, but this will make it look real obvious what we're doing. Always holding tight. Every time I go around, I take and I cinch that in. So this is very tight around the main coil of rope. Now we're to a position. I'm going to take this tail, go through this loop, hold it up tight to itself, and I find this other tail and I give it a jerk, and it's going to cinch it up like that. Now we've got a coil of rope that won't unfasten itself. From our other series called our overhand series, you'll see what I'm going to do here. Because these can fall all over, I want to kind of get them under control. I put an overhand knot in there and cinch it up. Actually, I like a double overhand. Round over itself, back through. Even with this little tail, I can do the same. Over itself and back through. Now it naturally wants to go a half twist. That's okay. And I can always carry this over my shoulder. Notice this knot, it's always on your shoulder. Never like this. This will kind of start falling all over the place. Keep this main knot right up on the shoulder. And you can go for a nice long hike, and that'll stay just the way it is.